Alright, so in this assignment you didn't pass it, so I'm going to try to explain to you what you did wrong and how to correct it, because you need to at least make a 70 on these assignments when you put them into test-wise in order to pass this. And just like with biology, you have to pass the math to go on to the next grade. To be in 12th grade, you have to pass the math. If you fail it, then you're stuck in 11th grade again. You'll be held back. You have to have these credits. Okay, so here it's telling you first, round to the nearest whole number. Now the whole number is the number in front of the decimal. It's the ones place, right? So like if this was money and you had $1.42, the dollar would be the one, right? That would be how many dollars you had. So in this case, the whole number would be like a whole dollar. So here you would have, this would be your whole number, and this is your tenths, your hundredths, thousandths, or 10,000. But it's wanting you to round to the whole number. So what you do, you look at the number before it, which you did look at some of these, but here, look at the number before, you got a 4. 4 is not more than 5. It's less than 5, so this number cannot go up. So it would just become 1. Okay? Now, when we would round with whole numbers like ones, tens, hundredths, and so forth, if it said round to the tens place, you put zeros in. But when you do decimals, you don't. Every number after that place value is eliminated. So like as you can see here, this isn't 1.0000, it's just 1. So down here on the first ones that you done, these ones you did round right, you just added these zeros in. So you shouldn't have that decimal and that 0 on these. When it's rounded to that whole number, it would have just become 6, and this one would have just become 8. It would have just been a whole number. It wouldn't have no decimals or zeros. Okay? Now the next one we're looking at is rounding to the tenths. And we look up here at the example. Again, it's looking to the tenths place. So here was your ones, and then these were your tenths. This is the place value here. The 4 is in the tenths. So again, you look to the number behind it. Well, it has 2. 2 is less than 5, so it can't go up. So this would just become 1.4. And again, all these decimals places were eliminated. There are no zeros after this, as you notice. It's just got 2 decimal places because tenths is only going to have, it's only got 1 decimal place because tenths only have 1 decimal. Tenths place only has 1. Okay, so if we look down here at the problems that you did, you look here, here's your ones, and then this is your tenths, right? And we look behind it, well, we have an 8. So 8 is more than 5, so this 3 can go up. So the answer would have become 4.4. Again, that last decimal place was eliminated. There is no 0 after that. Tenths only has 1 decimal place. Okay, if you look at this one, you got 17.94, 17 and 94 hundredths. And again, our tenths place, the 9 is in that place value. And look behind it, the 4. 4 is less than 5, so the 9 is just going to stay the same. So it will become 17.9. Okay, so that would be rounding it to the tenths place. Okay, and then if you go down to the next one, number 3, it's wanting you to round to the hundredths. And hundredths places is the second decimal place. Now money, if you think about money, money only has 2 decimal places, right? And it's kind of like if you think about a penny, you could have 100 pennies to make a dollar. So, you know, that might help you remember that, I don't know. But so here, our 5 is in the hundredths place. We look to this number behind it, we have a 7, so that's enough to make this go up 1. So this one would have become 1 and 26 hundredths, or 1.26. And again, that last decimal, anything after the hundredths is eliminated, no zeros. Okay, and over here, 21.342, the 4 is in the hundredths, because the hundredths is the second decimal place. And if you get confused, you can always go back up and look at this example here. It does show you, the tenths, that it's pointing to whatever place value that it is. So the hundredth is the second place, each one of these. So that would be the place value you're going to round to. That's the number it's going to stop at, right? So here, 2's not enough to make this go up, so this one would just stay 21.34. Now, on this one here, when you rounded this would have become a 0, right? Because this would have become, no, it wouldn't have, because the 3's not enough to make that go up. So this would have just stayed 9. So this would have been like 17.99. So it wouldn't have been 18 like what you had over here. Okay. The next one is rounded to the thousandths. And again, the thousandths, you know, this would be the ones, the tenths, the hundredths, the thousandths. So the third one is the thousandths place. So the 2 is in that place value. So here we got a 5. Well, 5 is 5. So it's enough to make this go up. So you would have had 0.843 for 843 thousandths. And again, that number 5, that place value is eliminated. It would not have a 0 like you did down here. It's only going to have 3. Okay. If you looked at this one, what number is in the thousandths place? 5 would be in the thousandths place. It has a 1 behind it, so that's not enough. So it would just become 6.005 or 6 and 5 thousandths. Okay. If we look at these ones, the 5's in the thousandths. I'm sorry. Again and again. Now on this one, you just about had this one right. It just got too many decimal places. So here, that 1 is not enough to make it go up. You just would have put it in like that because it should only have 3 zeros. So it doesn't have that one at the back. Okay, and then on the last thing down here, where it's talking about change these fractions to decimals. To do that, you can use your calculator, and if you don't have your calculator at home, you should have one on your Chromebook. You take the top number, your numerator, which is the 5, and you divide it by the denominator, which is the number on the bottom. So take the top and divide it by the bottom. And you come out with this big long decimal. But you can see this is repeating. So what we'll do is we just round these decimals to the second decimal place, or to the hundredths. And here we've got a 5. We've got a 4 behind it. So this one would have just become 0.45. Right? And then if you look at this one, 3/16. 3 divided by 16, the top divided by the bottom, gives you 0.1875. Then we look to the second decimal place, which is the 8, 7 behind it, so that's going to go up to 0.19, or 1900. So that's how you'll do these two. Take the top number and divide it by the bottom number on these, and then round it. If it gives you a big long repeating decimal, round it to the second decimal place, or to the hundredths. And just keep practicing this. If you're still confused, you can always message me, and I'll try to explain it better if this doesn't help. But just try again. Try to get at least a 70 or higher so that you will pass this.